So this is a day after I finished watching Serial Experiments Lane, and typically what I would do is I would have like a script, and I don't know why the sun is absolutely beaming down on my window right now, but I would typically write down a script, and then I'd edit a video. But for some reason, I just can't really do that with Serial Experiments Lane. I mean, I want to say this after finishing the anime, I can't bring myself to hate it. I can't. I just can't. I think there's a different feeling to it, towards Lane, to Serial Experiments Lane in comparison to an anime like Tokyo Ghoul. Because I can flat out just say Tokyo Ghoul Re was ass. I can say that. I can absolutely, just slander Re, but this one with Serial Experiments Lane, I can't really bring myself to hate it. But of course, I can also say that it was good. I think there are people out there who do appreciate this anime, who do love this anime, or who found it very very impactful for them. But considering that I haven't really seen other people's opinions on this anime, it hasn't really convoluted or I guess quote unquote corrupted my view of this show. I just don't think it's really good, or maybe even good, nor do I think it's bad. I don't think it's bad. I can't bring myself to call it bad because it wasn't really bad. I think there was this feeling of confusion. There's this feeling of how do I say this? I guess there wasn't really anything that invoked something in me or invoked some kind of emotion within me. I think midway through, when like we were dealing with like scientists doing experiments on kids, and then we also had like a bunch of people joining the Knights, like a mom joining the Knights, and then there's this moment where we get to see Lain ending up switching from one personality to another, the wired one and then the real one. And it's like it's interesting to see. It is interesting to see, but is it anything that really, made me feel something? It made me feel like I was like, oh my goodness, bro, look at this. Like, was it gripping, or was it gripping? I meant like, was it, shut up. I meant like, did it grip? I meant to say, did it grip me? Was it anywhere that it, like it tugged me by the strings of my heart and led me to this, to Lane's life, to Lane's story and her world? Not really. Not really. I don't think it was that crazy. I must say. I think it's very ambitious for an anime. There's a lot of things involved in it, and there's like so many underlying things that just end up, I guess you could say, it ended up mixing with a lot of the things in the anime. So you had information, and then you had information being like, there was even aliens involved, and then also the fact that she's like omnipresent or omnipotent or omniscient. I don't even know what to describe her, but you have all these things, and then you also have like the the like you have this guy who was a scientist who found out something about, making, or I like, look, I'm still lost even after all of this. I mean, I could go like, as much as I would like to go on like a Wikipedia or maybe a Reddit just to find out what it all really means. I think it'll end up mixing, or just skewing my obviously going to skewer my perception about the show. And but instead of me looking at the show as if I was, annoyed by it, as if I was mad at it because it was like this, it was that, or calling it poor because, I simply couldn't understand what it was. Like, no, I'm gonna take my time just to hold myself back from absolutely trying to rip into an anime that doesn't really deserve to be ripped apart. I think with Lain, with Serial Experiments Lain, I don't hate it. I don't hate Serial Experiments Lain. I think Serial Experiments Lain is the type of show that I could appreciate. You know, knowing that it exists, knowing that it's out there. I think a part of me is like I'm kind of happy. I'm kind of happy that it exists, even though I might not have fully understood it. Even though I could definitely have a lot of criticisms about this show. It's a little bit more different because like why is it different? I could bring up another example with Tokyo Ghoul Re, which I recently finished on this channel. That one I'm fine with, especially the second core of season three. I would be fine if that one got wiped out of off of the books, off of the internet. I don't care. Like that one was just horrendous. Here, I think having it exist and for more people to find in the future, I think would be nice. Although there's this possibility, like I was thinking, okay, a lot of the things that I want to talk about Serial Experiments Lane is the themes of it, right? And I do think, and this is not me trying to downplay it, but I just think the themes are simple in a way that it's there's this term that I just recently found out. It's called a zeitgeist. Am I pronouncing it correctly? Zeitgeist, where pretty much it's like a media or art or whatever it is that defines an era, defines a time, a period of human history. And you have like in the 60s, for example, if I'm not mistaken, that was the Woodstock, that event, right? Was that in the 60s or 70s? I'm not sure. I'm just using it as an example, right? And it defined that era or that period. So I think with Serial Experiments Lane, it's become zeitgeist in a way that it was trying to, or no, it was trying to show, I suppose, what people were feeling during that time. Because if I'm not mistaken, when was this released? 2001. So this was like in the advent of the internet, right? And of course that brought a lot of speculation, assumption into what the internet is going to be, if it's going to be detrimental, or do people, especially in a society like Japan that's very recluse, very non-express, less expressive than most countries. I think that is one of the reasons why it fits so well, because that is the world of Lane, and the world of Lane is this series of an echo chamber, pretty much. I would love to dive into and just talking about what Serial Experiments Lane is, but it's not as the same at the same effect as I would talk about, like, say for example, maybe Attack on Titan. I think with Attack on Titan, I have a lot more passion that I could put into that series as opposed to Serial Experiments Lane. But that is not, that I'm not implying that Serial Experiments Lane is not, isn't something that I wouldn't talk about, right? Or it's a lot less interesting to talk about. It's just the passion isn't in there. I would be interested in talking about Lane, but you know, not really to a degree how AOT had me. So I think maybe who knows, maybe in the future when people are actually capable of transferring their consciousness into, the internet, or it ends up being called the wired, and people are actually going through all of this. Who knows, like maybe 100 years from now, 200 years from now, this anime from you know like a long, long time ago actually was ahead of its time, and that people from the future would end up watching this anime. They see this anime and they're like, oh wow, I have the same feelings as this, because everyone's like so reliant on like the internet and all these kinds of things. I think for now in this age, I mean, it's just straight up stupid. Now you have AI, right? You have AI, and we already have things. We already have people fearing AI. But then you go look at what's been happening with the internet, and if you think of AI, and the first thing that pops up in my head is like those random ass videos where they would like use weird prompts, like the most craziest shit you could ever think of. Like they would make some goofy ass prompt and maybe a song that's like filled with swear words and slurs and all that, like, you can't take it seriously. We could talk about the ethical and the negative implications of having AI, but then again, you look at what AI has been doing in the past few years, right? It's like this shit kind of brain rotted, So I think that's why, with Lane, it's I don't want to approach at it in a very singular and a very linear perspective, and I just appreciate that it exists, and that's all that matters to me. But for now, I do have Violet Evergarden lined up. I do have another anime lined up. Initially, right? Remember, I said I wanted to do Gachiakuta. I wanted to do Gachiakuta, but I was like, man, I actually want to watch something a little bit more different. Like, I would like to watch Gachiakuta, but I think there's only 4 episodes left, so I might as well, right? Might as well just let the 4 episodes run its course, or maybe right around the last episode, I'll go watch it on full, and once that's done, I'm like, okay, I'm good. So while I'm waiting for 4 episodes, Violet Evergarden, and if you're wondering what other anime I plan on watching, once I finish a Violet Evergarden, I think I'm gonna move on to Your Lie in April, and then I'm gonna move on to I think I wanted to do Sousou no Frieren, but I think it's gonna be Violet Evergarden, Your Lie in April, then Gachiakuta, or you could alternate this. I could go watch Gachiakuta or Neon Genesis Evangelion. So either those two. So yeah. What else? What else can I talk about? I like Lane. I really did like Lane. I like Serial Experiments Lane. I liked it, but it's not. It's not like I can praise it because, oh wow, like this is how it made me feel. This is how the show was, and it was like I think there's a lot of things you could talk about, positive things you could talk about the show, but I don't think they really outweigh my feelings about it. It's it's right there in the middle. It's there. It's an anime. It's not bad. It's not inherently bad or bad at all, but it's not really that good. It's all right. Maybe I'm just way too uh I'm mentally inept to understand concepts like this, but yeah, I liked it. I think that's all that matters. That's all that freaking matters. Oh well, there you have it. That was Serial Experiments Lane. Again, gonna make a video, so wait for that. Have a blessed day, afternoon, evening, everybody. I'll see you on the next video. Sayonara. 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 It's a beautiful day, though. It's an absolutely beautiful day.